everybody, and welcome to an unusual midweek update with me and Ken. And of course, as per usual, we're going to drop that beat. Hey, Ken.
Hey, Anna. We're back.
We're Glenless today.
We're Glenless today.
But that's intentional. Not because we don't love Glenn.
Yeah. He's out there flipping things and
tables.
Boxing. Yeah. I mean, have you seen his videos? The guy's been posting some boxing videos, so I'm just like, man,
boxing?
I know he has
like fighting?
Yeah, he has a daughter, so he's probably just practicing now who he's gonna beat up, later down the road. Just gonna break his daughter's heart. So.
Oh my gosh, I hope not. I hope she never has her heart broken.
But now, kidding aside, me and Anna has been gone all week last week, and we were supposed to daily podcast.
We were trying to plug.
We tried. I mean, at least in our brain.
We really tried. But the problem is we were busy like 16 hours a day and then like dead asleep the rest of the time every day.
It doesn't help when they stuff you so much with food at the end of the day that all you want to do is just lay down and sleep.
We had about 7 square meals a day at eBay headquarters on campus.
So, okay, well, let's tell everybody, if you don't know, me and Anna and around 25 to 30 other sellers were invited to eBay headquarters to do a seller week. And it has been a week that they have done, I think, the past 3 years since eBay Open went virtual. So part of what the Seller Week is actually a preparation for eBay Open as well. That people do their filming, they do their preparation for eBay Open. So I believe this year there's 12 training sessions, or seller labs is what they call them now. You guys could go to eBay Open website to see who's speaking. We really didn't know who was speaking on which, and I guess we'll make it a surprise for everybody, but the schedule was pretty much up there too. So that is what the Seller Week entails. And throughout this week, we are just being, fed. Fed with food.
And with knowledge.
With knowledge. That's what I was going for.
Sorry, stepped on your line.
Yeah, so there's physical feeding and mental feeding. And Anna, speak on the feeding knowledge.
Yeah, I was going to say, and like if you're a social person, it's also relational, because I like to think of it as like summer camp for sellers.
Yeah,
like we all like leave as best friends and we're so sad when camp is over. It's not really camp, but it could be. Has the same vibe to me. I love it.
It is. I mean, we all have our backpacks. We all have.
We do.
I mean, besides a sleeping bag, it is a summer camp.
Right. Yeah. No sleeping bags needed. They put us in a nice hotel. It's great. But yeah, beautiful San Jose, California. So like Ken was saying, we have this, portion of the week that's preparing or executing content for eBay Open. But the other portion is like meeting with all kinds of teams from eBay, down to like people who manage the teams, engineers who work on the product. And that is a lot of times people who are building things that sellers use, like the payments team who handles all the payment processing. Fixing problems, innovating. Like, it's so cool. There's usually some kind of formula of they all want to hear our feedback. They like squeeze you like a sponge to wring out of you all the feedback you could possibly have about what they work on. It's a very valuable opportunity for them to actually talk candidly with sellers in detail about how they're using things, how it's working, how it's not working. And they want to know all of it, like the good, bad, the ugly. So there's some portion of it that's basically extracting feedback from us, the sellers. And then there's another portion of it that is kind of an overview of everything that they are in charge of, like these different teams, and also like sometimes a little sneak peek of what they're actively working on. going forward in the future. So it's so cool. Like some of the teams we met with over the week were, like I said, payments, the shipping team, government relations team, which Ken and I already are like near and dear to our hearts. Already have them near and dear to our hearts. All kinds of people in the seller, like think about Seller Hub, like everything in Seller Hub, the ads and advertising and marketing team.
That is true. That would be the fastest way to explain it. I feel like they should just call it a Seller Hub week.
Yeah, right. Because you hear from everybody around the you're meeting with circle of tabs. Seller Hub. Yeah,
you're different.
The different
tabs, right?
Ooh, they should do Tabs Labs.
Oh.
Hey, that one's for free. That one's for free.
Yeah, so ads team, we met with them. I believe ads is always a cool
usually we meet with them a couple of times, and seller experience is like kind of a big umbrella for a lot of those, not ads, but a lot of the other like seller tools and stuff.
Like the tools, right?
Listing
like
tools, yeah.
Best offer features, the listing flow.
Yeah,
I think those are the terms that we have heard. You know, I mean, like the whole messaging system. You know, I think that's a big part of it. So I think, you know, maybe we could just run down, you know, like on how our week went. I mean, this is kind of just like a backtrack of daily vlogging because we really wanted to, but we had our microphones and everything like that.
We did. We brought all of our stuff. We were so tired.
I think it would have sounded like drunk Anna and drunk Ken
like zombies
at the end of the day, because
100%.
As a matter of fact, we've done this for a few years now. This time, actually, I felt like we've slept earlier.
I know. I agree. The first time we like stayed out until 3 a.m. on the last night because that's how summer campy it was. It was like, we don't want to go home. We have so much to talk about with like, not just us, like it was a big group of sellers.
Yeah.
Not even everyone as talkative as we are, but I think we should totally go through it. So just to give kind of an idea, but it is so cool. We also get to do fun things like go on a tour of the campus. And this year, our fearless seller experience leader, Valerie Yee, who's amazing. Shout out, Val. We love you. Gave the tour. Historically, that was a Brian Burke job, but he retired. So this was the first tour I was ever on without Brian, but Val did a great job. So yeah, there's some other fun stuff sprinkled in there too, but it's very much a work trip. It's like the most fun work trip you could ever think
that's people at the gym ask me, like, oh, you went on vacation? I was like, not really a vacation, not really. Like a work trip. It's like you know, like squeeze your brain kind of trip.
Yes,
so
you
which
come
is
back
really good.
Exhausted.
Yeah, which is you know, like, okay, you know, to begin with, you know, different sizes of stores and sellers and category. You know, I feel like it was a really great mix of people, from even people that have been selling for 20 years down to people who have been selling for under a year. Which is really good. All categories have been represented. So, you know, a lot of people flew in around Sunday and Monday. And for me and Anna, we had I think we had most of our preparation and filming done on Monday. Because we had other things to do later in the week, and Monday was just a blur because I felt like this was our first week kind of, and we really didn't get to meet everybody yet. So I think people were still flying in. So Monday was filled with a lot of pleasantries for sure, seeing everybody that are back. You know, especially with the seller community team. And they always you know, do a great job welcoming us and you know, feeding us the snacks. There was a bench of snacks already ready to roll. I was munching on that.
Was it a coincidence that almost all of the cool swag we got from eBay was Seller Club green?
Okay. I mean, they didn't ask me permission, but I granted it. You know,
I'm just saying, I love it. I was so thrilled to see. I'm wearing the green eBay trucker hat.
So we
right
all
now.
got swag bags, right?
Yep.
So it might be rare. I've heard it's rare because they didn't make a lot of them. So if you get a hold of some,
if you see one listed on eBay, might have been from Seller Week.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
So I think a lot of that day was like For me, it was a long day because I had to stay until 4:30 or 5, and we were there at what, 7:30?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
early
it
because
was
yeah,
long.
we were shooting a lot of stuff
And then
on our
An-
own too.
Anna had to leave, was able to leave a little bit earlier because her filming got done earlier than I did, and she didn't make a lot of mistakes, so she was done faster.
One take wonder.
Yeah, and you know me, I talk too much, so they had to cut my answers really short. And then Anna, when you talk about our cool activity that we did that Monday night.
Yeah, so we did something. We love doing things for the first time. So we did something for the first time that was really kind of formalizing something that has kind of organically happened the last 2 years. Ken and I have both been at this Seller Week. And really, this all started, I'm going to give you the credit, Ken, because the very first year that I was there, you basically invited a bunch of sellers we just all happened to fly in around the same time. And we kind of were identifying each other like
The
in the
noobs.
lobby of the hotel.
We were
Yeah.
trying to find the noobs.
And you were like, hey, like, let's just like, who's free? Let's go grab dinner and like get to know each other a little bit. And so then last year we were kind of more intentional about that, but it was still like an unofficial kind of pre-Seller Week thing.
Right.
And so this year we were able to basically make it a formalized event. Like it was still optional, but almost every single seller
Everybody
came.
made it, yeah. Besides a few people that had family commitments, yeah.
Right. So it was awesome, but we were able to like reserve some space at a restaurant and welcome everyone. And Lori Wong, who was with us in our keynote takeover last year at eBay Open. If you don't know her, you should. She's the best. But anyway, the three of us kind of brainstormed about just, a few talking points and stuff just to kind of like put everyone at ease and allow them to, or just let them know that like we can be a resource. Anybody who's been here at Seller Week before kind of knows what it's like drinking from the fire hose, meeting with all the teams and like being, doing high production stuff on campus for eBay Open. So we just wanted everyone to really feel welcome and really like kick off getting to know each other, because honestly the next few days just fly by. And I know every year it's like there's a couple of people that I'm like, man, I wish I had gotten to talk to you 2 days ago, but it's just been so busy. And I just happened to be in closer proximity to other people in the group that I got to know better because of that. And so we just really wanted everyone to be able to make the most of it and feel like more comfortable with the situation, because if you've never been, it's like really hard to understand what you're about to experience. Yeah. And it was a total hit. Like it was awesome.
Yeah,
one thing that
great food, great conversation.
Yeah.
And mentioned like, we intentionally split up too, right?
Yeah, we the three of us, and then there were a few other sellers who had been there before, and we also enlisted them to help us with this, to basically spread ourselves out among all of the newest people so that they all had a more experienced seller as far as like going to Seller Week. Like like Ken said, there's all levels of experience and categories across this group of sellers, but anyone who had been at Seller Week before and could kind of answer questions, we sprinkled ourselves throughout the tables, and I think that worked really well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think, like that was really a lot of Monday. I personally was relieved because a lot of my filming has been done. And fast forward to what me and Anna was gonna do on Tuesday and Wednesday. Our schedule was kind of jam packed because we usually meet with different department, either their senior manager or their product team or whoever was in charge of this specific. We would have done it individually before, and we have the last 2 years. And this year we kind of just like talked to each other like, hey, why don't we just consolidate our meetings? That way we can, bring up and piggyback off of each other's
we
concern.
can tag team like we usually
basically
do.
It's like, oh, there's one of this person, let's just gang up on them, like. And obviously we're rolling with our our arm candies, right? I have JC and Anna has John.
I mean, they were working hard the whole time, but they were kind of our arm candy as well.
And then so there's like always 4 people trying to like like
We're
best
basically
offer.
a posse at this point.
Yeah, we need to fix this, right? And just so you guys know, all your complaints is the same complaints that we have, and the suggestions that you guys want to happen, we are literally just pushing it up the ladder, and
Yep.
and that's our goal, not to just like, hey, can you remove this feedback from my account? Like, it's never
Yeah.
that. It's never about one account.
It's
It's
onward
always
and
like-
upward.
Yeah.
It really is. But it's interesting how much they really do care about like individual use cases, as they would say in corporate
Right.
speak, right? Use case.
Yeah.
Like if you have a weird, unique problem within your account or your experience, like they do actually want to solve for that. But
Right.
they try to solve the most broad sweeping things first. But it is interesting because like they like sometimes, right, eBay's complex, right? So if there's one thing, like say there's something about best offers or there's something about messages that touches some other department, like it's really cool to within the same week have the opportunity to talk to multiple departments that might be involved in the solution,
Right.
and talk to them all, right, and with the same message, and kind of lay it out so that they understand like, oh yeah, okay, if we're going to solve it this way, then we're going to have to work with this other team. And like everyone there is super smart. Like
Right,
they know
exactly.
that.
Right,
They know
yeah.
who they have to work with. But sometimes it really is enlightening to hear, like, just because sellers who use this stuff every single day, like we do actually think of stuff from our perspective that they just
Right.
wouldn't arrive at first, or maybe they wouldn't arrive at it at all just because they're not a seller. I don't know. It's like experience can teach you certain things that
For sure.
even if you're like a genius in your own context, if you don't have those other perspectives in the room, sometimes you get stuck. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's like in how I see it, when we see people collaborate and not just complain dump, what we try to do is collaborate, and there's it's kind of like a bunch of aha moments,
Yeah.
right? And it's vice versa, and there are things that we want that sometimes is not doable, or sometimes it might be impossible, right? Like we could just wish, there are wishes, but there are things that could be done, right? Like I feel like for the longest time the unpaid item case was been the topic. And it's gotten better. So now we're just kind of like winking at each other. It's like, okay, I'm waiting for the auction to get done. Just
I
let me
know.
know when, right?
It's really interesting though. I like that's a great example. I love getting to get an update about that topic because it just seemed, I think from the outside looking in, if you just hear an update about that every year at eBay Open or every once in a while and there's like a seller update, it's like, okay, why is it taking so long, right?
Yeah.
For them to fix this across different kinds of offers and auctions and all these international, right? All these different scenarios. And something that somebody at eBay said while I was out there this time, this is like the perfect nutshell explanation for that. I mean, if you don't know, they will, any solution, they're going to like beta test it. They're going to try it with a small group. They're going to measure a bunch of stuff, see how it's working, and then adjust the plan from there. And honestly, part of the reason, even though all these other platforms out there don't have this at all, right? This is like not a problem because eBay is this like legacy platform that's been around the longest.
Yep.
And they, unfortunately, right, all of their users have been used to having multiple days to pay for stuff or whatever. That's not really the times we're living in now, but a huge reason why they didn't just rip off the Band-Aid of that is because it would hurt all of our conversion rates. Right. It would like tank some of our sales because people would get mad with an abrupt, change.
Yeah.
And also when they make a solution that's like such a big change, they really want to make sure it works right.
Right.
And like we've all seen stuff not work right on the platform at times. And that's in spite of their best efforts to make sure that it does. And then they fix it. So I think it's really just worth mentioning, like, there's more going on behind the scenes than most of us are aware of. I mean, even us, But it really I felt like was a good explanation of like, hey, don't forget that part of the reason that we're not doing this like super fast is actually in your best interest. It really actually is, because it would hurt your store.
We don't want buyers to get mad, basically, right?
And fleet.
As much as we're trying to think about our sales, they're trying to think about our sales too, because if our sales tank, they actually don't get paid. So
And they
you
do know better than we do, like how our sales would actually be affected based
Yeah.
on data and trials and tests,
Yeah.
you know? So anyway, it's just interesting. Of course, we don't pull any punches, like not that it's adversarial when we're there talking to these teams at all. It's like really awesome and collaborative and fun, but we're like super blunt about when stuff's
Yeah.
not working, or, you know, ideas that we have that we think would make it better. And it's just so funny. Sometimes I'm like, I love being the dumbest person in the room, right? Like, I feel like I really am when I'm there. Like, all these brilliant engineers, like, are probably just like, oh my gosh, seriously? But really, they're not. They're like, they love hearing from sellers.
Yeah, the insights, I feel like, is very important, right? Because
Yeah.
what could work for this volume seller could not work for this high volume seller.
Right.
I mean, even with just the shipping, you know, like there's people that sell a multi-platform.
Yeah.
So they don't use eBay shipping; they use Pirate Ship instead, because
Right.
you could consolidate orders. So I feel like for me, like those are stuff that they would not get from me, right?
Right.
Because I use eBay labels, right? But they're trying to find, you know, sellers that use a different platform to fulfill orders. You know, like some people like just do so much volume that a dollar adjustment would make
It would
or
be
break a lot
terrible,
of
yeah.
yeah. So that's always cool. I mean, you know, like going back to the schedule, Tuesday, I feel like it was first day high for everybody. I think that was like the first day
Yeah.
that everybody got in. We were, you know, we were on this giant conference room, and I believe Tuesday was we there's hardly filming done on Tuesday, so
Right.
that was
Tuesday was
kinda cool.
mostly like hosted meals and snacks and happy hour.
Oh yeah, there's snacks,
Like I
meals,
said,
and happy
5
hour.
square meals a day, 7 square meals a day.
And also,
however many.
yeah. So what the other project that me and Anna was actually doing a lot more and kind of like prepping more is actually has to do with the podcast.
It
So
does,
while
yeah.
we were there,
We had some special meetings.
yes, which, oh my gosh, in a way nerve-wracking because we're not using our home setup. We had a
Right.
mobile setup. At the same time, we had to switch rooms with all. I feel like we didn't even stay in one room, right? I think
No, at all.
there was no one single
No.
podcast room.
We were
so
just
we
a
had to-
traveling show at that point.
Yeah, at that point, that's
Also
when like
known as a circus. We were
Yeah.
a circus.
yeah, we had John and JC, and we had some live audience too, which was really cool.
We did. That was so fun.
Huge shout out to Jax.
I was like, you know who you are, Ethan, Jax,
Ethan and Dalton, right? And you know that was pretty cool. That was probably
It
the
was.
first time we've had a live audience, and it was like,
Extremely well behaved live
yeah,
audience.
they make a noise. Jax was like, Jax was really serious when she said, "I'm gonna crash your podcast," and I was like, we were just laughing, and next thing you know, like Hillary popped up, and it's like, oh, you are really gonna crash it? It's like, but I'm gonna be quiet. I was like, so that was super cool.
Silently crash. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not gonna be revealing too much about who we talked to because that's for a teaser. But know that we've had podcasts with 4 different groups. I
Yeah.
just name groups or people, and
4
there's some
yeah.
execs there too.
Yeah. We have a really fun variety. So just stay tuned because we'll be releasing them like
Right.
shortly.
So part of like why we're doing this because we want to let you guys know that we have some stuff up and coming, and also because we failed to daily podcast because we were tired.
we
so-
were so tired. Our
Yeah,
brains
any
were
other-
so tired.
Yeah. So any other call outs, Anna, between Tuesday and Wednesday?
So one thing that happened on Wednesday was, so we, like we said, we met with all these different teams.
Mm-hmm.
One of the teams that we met with briefly was Charity, eBay for Charity. And I just want to throw that out there because a lot of people don't even know that it exists. So if you're not aware of eBay for Charity, it's incredible. Incredible program. It's a whole site where you can shop everyone who sells for charity or is a charity on eBay. I mean, they've given away billions of dollars. And I think this is so interesting because, like, eBay gives the sellers like the credit for their donations, where like Amazon Smile, which is no more, I think, but it was like Amazon was doing the donation. And so I just wanted to point that out a little bit, because that's just another way in which like eBay is, in my opinion, like a superior platform that actually has like a win-win situation built in, where they're not like competing with you. They're not taking credit for, what you're doing, like literally on taxes or just general perception, right? Of like who's making the donation and kind of doing the good thing. So it's kind of interesting. But, if you sell, like I sell some of my items in my store for charity, you can choose the charity that they support. There's also like a donate at checkout, or like a roundup type of feature. I think it's donate at checkout that you can do anytime you buy anything on eBay. But like for me, as a seller, like some of my items, a percentage of that sale automatically gets collected, from my net by eBay, gets distributed automatically to the charity. And I get like a giving statement, a charity tax form at the end of the year. So it's like really, really easy. And there are tons of charities that are in there. So if there's a charity that you know of, or a cause that you like to support, you also get a little discount on your final value fees, proportionate to the amount that you donate. So anyway, that's just something that I really love about eBay that doesn't get much airtime. So it's a very small team that does all this work, and they're awesome. And our seller group got to meet with them. I already knew a lot of this stuff, but a lot of the other sellers, I think, had probably no idea. So,
Yep. So that was cool. I mean, I believe, in one of my, like one-on-ones, met with, our good friend, and a senior category manager, senior category or account manager?
Who?
A manager, Andrew. So we met with Andrew,
yeah.
which is the sneakers. So, and I got to meet Andrew, and just different departments, right? For example, like for me, I sell in a more focused category. So I met with him, and then met with streetwear as well. There's a pretty unique crossover there. I'm a sneaker seller, but actually I'm a streetwear seller as well. Because, sneakers is a streetwear and all the other fits that go with it. So that was pretty cool. And Anna, what else did you have meetings that I wasn't on?
Oh, that you weren't on. Well, I did have an individual meeting with charity, actually, that I asked for, because I wanted to ask them, like, what can sellers do to help you people know that you exist? I think that's, one of their biggest challenges. Let's see. Some of my other ones.
Meetings. I did crash one of your meeting with the EIS and shipping team. So that was.
Oh yeah, that was really fun. I love the shipping team.
Yeah.
Also, we got to meet with Shouty, which was so incredible.
Yes. VP for seller experience, I believe.
She's like basically overselling.
She's
there's on eBay. There's buying and selling. So she's over the selling side.
So that was really cool, and we were able to reinforce a lot of the things that we already asked the seller experience team, which is, Val was one of them, and the engineers and then the product managers. So what kind of like the strategy what me and Anna wanted to happen was, let's just pounce on a certain feature that we want, rather than giving them 100 features and not being able to get implemented faster, which is also the thing that we've talked to other sellers and everybody.
Right.
I feel like the whole consensus was really almost 100% that it's really cool. Like can we offer free shipping through messaging? Can we offer coupons through messaging? Can we attach a listing through messaging instead of copying a hyperlink? So I think, like that was kind of like, the cool things of feedback and, like give it to me kind of moments. It's like, okay, we want messaging to be way more robust, or make it like a highway. We were calling, it, how can we seal the deal through messaging? rather than having to go edit your listing and then give a discount on the listing or send an offer, and if they accept, they don't pay. So
Yeah.
like, so that was kind of like mainly a lot of the product feature that we were kind of like talking more about. Anything else, Anna?
Well, we did our what has become an annual tradition of playing bocce ball.
Oh no.
Which is awesome. It's so fun. This was my 4th time ever in my whole life playing bocce ball.
This was my 3rd time, and I'm still terrible at it.
I'm also still terrible.
And I don't know how you get better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about getting better. The trash talk is the best part, in my opinion.
Yeah. But at this point, I think they're trash talking me because I've played it for 3 years and I'm still terrible at it.
Yeah.
And funny story is, me and Jaren has always been in the same team until that night. So me and Jaren weren't on the same team, and
he
we were
beat
trying
you.
to figure out who's the who's the jinx.
Right.
And after that night, Jaren figured out it was me because
Yeah.
I still lost without him. So he
Well,
was winning.
Jaren is very athletic, very smart.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
And laughs really hard, So
Yeah,
he's trash talking us in a discreet level.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
kind of
He's
just like
like, he is next level. Jaren is so fun. He's in the now 34 club with me and Ken.
correct. So we
Yeah.
actually gathered all the 34 club.
Yeah.
And we actually added a new member.
We did. Molly.
Which is Molly and Andrew. We didn't get Andrew on the photo.
Oh, right. Yeah,
were
we did.
all the 34 club. So the 1990s kid. So if you're in the 34 club,
Let us know.
Let us know.
The
Let us
other
know.
one, by the way, is Alec Larson, who's also our really good friend
Yes.
of several years now.
And I'm actually the youngest of the seller. The 90s club, the 34.
In other
club.
words, the baby.
The
Oh yeah,
baby.
Ken, you
Who's the
celebrated your
oldest?
birthday
Who's
while
the
we were
oldest?
out there.
You?
I don't think so. I think
Who
it's
was at the
Alec.
end of the Alec?
I think it might be Alec.
Yeah. So that was fun. And then I did have. I guess we moved to Thursday now. Our last day. A lot of everything I did Thursday was government relations team related.
Right.
You can call me Captain B now because I am finally captain for the government
Aye, aye.
relations team.
Congratulations.
So part of being a captain is, or a newly captain is, they do a captain's fly in or a HQ visit. I guess that's what you call it. Fly in headquarters visit. A captain's headquarters visit, which we were there. I believe there were 6 new captains, if I'm not mistaken, and we were just talking policies. We were just talking all the changes that have been happening and all the things that we are working towards solving and kind of raising issues with our members of the members of Congress and the legislative part. So I'm not gonna bore you on that one because that might be a separate. It's not actually boring. It's actually triggering, if you say, because there are things that will highly affect us if it goes. So we're probably gonna talk a little bit more about that or make a post about that because we want all the sellers that are listening to this to be involved with the eBay Main Street. So check it out, ebaymainstreet.com. Be a part of it. You could do as little or as much as you can. A great team over there. So that was a lot of what I personally did. Me and JC kind of like went off on a different group trip within campus. And then Anna, how was your Thursday?
My Thursday was great. It was pretty chill. We had, every meal and snack was hosted by a different team. So we had more of those kind of group meetings with different teams within eBay. And, the the last night, it was a final hurrah. It was so fun. They did like a on campus like casino night. So it was like really themed and in this cool outdoor courtyard area on campus. Jamie gave a little speech that was really cool, and we all got to play all these casino games with not real money. But it was really fun. It was you really could win some eBay gift cards with your, like Chuck E. Cheese, where you turn in your tickets for a prize. It was like a drawing for that, so that was really cool. And I think the very last thing on Thursday night was a huge testament to how successful our Monday night dinner was, because after everything was over, all the official activities were said and done. Yeah. Like, I mean, eBay, like, formally supporting and allowing us to do this seller dinner on Monday was so awesome, because like they make everyone's schedule, right? So they made that an official event, like a pre-seller week event, right? And so anyway, they like really took care of that whole thing and like let us do that, which was so cool. And I think it really made a difference, because the very last night, when there was no more official activities, everyone was just, beat from the whole week and doing various, preparations for flying out, going home the next morning.
After being so nervous and, ran through the ringer and all the whole
it's like you
work,
were spent.
all the work, right?
Yeah, all the work was done. You were spent by the end of the week, but almost like a huge group of sellers and a few eBay people were all just like hanging out in the hotel restaurant until it closed, the last night, and just like having so much fun together. Like everyone's bonded so much. And I think the dinner, not to give us too much credit, but like I think the dinner was very effective in kind of jumpstarting those friendships. And I hope to see every one of them again, because also this whole group of sellers this year was awesome. Like, man, it was an A team. I can't wait to see all of their seller labs and other different kinds of content they've been making. And like, I want to follow everyone and follow their journeys, right? It's been so interesting to get to know them. It was a great crew.
Right. And, like this might be like a smaller sample group of everything, but I think that's what's really unique about eBay, that we all get a chance to connect with inter-category, whether you're a newbie or a seller that has been selling for so long. I think that's kind of just like the spirit of community with eBay. And like I personally have been part of different platforms doing that, and I would I'm not paid to say this, but this community is special.
It is.
And it's been really fun, and I would highly encourage everybody to be active and be part of a community, whether it's local. There is other local meetup groups that's going on throughout the year. There are actually kickoff parties that are happening across the country the night before eBay Open. So all you gotta do is go to eBay Open, and there's a tab there for kickoff parties, and you will see in your area wherever everybody's located. I think it's every state there is one for sure.
There's a ton. I mean, a lot of them are, a lot of the sellers we were there with are hosting some of them too, like across the country. So you might get to meet somebody we just hung out with all week, which is so cool.
Yeah. So, this is, if beyond the knowledge that you can get out of eBay Open and all the updates, at least go for community, because I believe community that we have on eBay is very strong, and it's ultimately very helpful with each other. Whether it's just going to be a slight encouragement if you're a newer seller, or if you're a seller that have been selling for so long, I always see it that I get, it's a breath of fresh air that somebody's still, grinding, and it inspires me that, because this journey is not easy for everybody. Being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is not easy, but sharing each other's wins and sharing each other's struggle always kind of just like helps each other up and pull each other up, and I think that's really cool. So this is our official invitation for everybody that's listening to this. Make sure you join eBay Open.
Yeah.
It's free.
We will see you there too. We'll be there.
Oh, we will see you there. We'll be there. And we'll be in the chat, you know. Get your emojis ready. And, you know, they always have games. They always have some fun in games. And I've heard there's multiple different things that's happening this year that's never been done.
Yeah.
So those we can't say, but it's going to be fun. I've won a gift card from games before.
Oh, yeah, I have
You
to.
might win some gift cards. So,
And
go to
swag.
eBay Open,
Usually
yeah.
there's swag.
Yeah, always. There's always swag. You know, fill up those surveys. You get swags and stuff like that. But yeah, make sure you follow eBay for Sellers on Instagram. Follow Seller Club on Instagram. And our other sponsor follows Seller Ledger as well. Bookkeeping made easy. So a lot of updates from here on until September 25th and 26th. So I would scream at you. Sign up. Yo, sign up, bro.
Don't
Sign
make
up.
Ken scream at you. Just go ahead and register.
Yeah, exactly. Or, I mean, you could call me and I could register for you. I could be your secretary.
That'd be a first.
That would be the first, right? Like, who's going to call me to ask them to sign up? Ooh.
They got to find your number somewhere first. Just
That's
email
the
us, thesellerclubpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep, there you go.
If you need help registering.
Yeah.
But for everything else, you can also just go to our show notes and we'll have a link in there for you. And we'll link
there you go.
to
Click
all
that
the
link.
usual suspects in the show notes. But I just want to say thank you so much to eBay for spoiling us, for squeezing our brains till they were empty and then filling them back up and then feeding us 9,000 times a day. Like, seriously, they treat us like royalty and it's so much fun. I really hope I get to go back again next year. Sometimes people return, sometimes it's new, you know.
Yeah.
There's usually a blend of like people who have been before and people who haven't. So I'm just like crossing my fingers that I get to keep going because it's my favorite.
Alrighty. And that is a wrap. Seller Club, we're out. Peace.
Bye.